Diversifit is a project proposal that I developed in the course of the first two business courses that I took at NAIT, and that's kind of been developing in my brain for a couple of years. What I'm looking to do is offer programming that's inclusive for disabled populations, children, adults, and caregivers, to actually get them into the community, into our facilities, training with people who aren't disabled, because everyone should have access to the same opportunities and services and programming that's out there. And right now we know that a lot of disabled people have very serious barriers of access. So the Diversifit program is a training and transition tool to help disabled people learn more about their fitness opportunities and make their way into community centers and gyms across the area. All right, so disabled people and caregivers, first of all, in terms of creating accessible programming, there's a need because they're people, right? Shockingly enough, even disabled people have health and fitness needs that are the same as most other human bodies, possibly even more so depending on comorbid conditions and different things impacting their health. But what's different with the disabled population is that they have significant barriers of access, including cost and lack of education and accessible facilities and inaccessible programming options, and generally just a lack of knowledge of where to go. We know that we have a significant need to help support this population, especially as it ages, because we are seeing more and more disabled people as our population grows older. But at this point, we just don't have any information on what the needs are, how to address those needs, and more importantly, any plan or strategy to actually do so.
Not yet. He's just putting them together. You put them back on the window track. Sam, you are the coolest kid I've ever seen. So the trains are stuck in between the window and the window pane and the door, and are able to go back and forth as we drive without falling off because the wheels fit in that little track. So Sam has found a way to turn our car into a train track for his trains because he is the coolest kid on the entire planet. Say hi, Sam. Hi. Yeah, you are so fun. Okay, Mommy's going to pause the video. Bye-bye. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. That's right.
Yeah, you have to put that one on Facebook.
So when I approached Autism Edmonton to see if we wanted to try doing kind of a miniature version of Diversifit, the response was surprised because it really didn't fall into the scope of what they felt they should be looking at as an organization. But I think that together we made a really strong case for why we have this need in our population. And as service providers, we either have to help facilitate transition to services that are already offering this, or when there aren't any, fill in those gaps. And as we know at Edmonton, there really isn't anything quite like this. And so we kind of brainstormed what we were looking for in terms of our recruitment, and we decided that we would do kind of two cohorts, one of autistic adults and one of caregivers for autistic people. And the reason why we stayed with the adults as opposed to the children, honestly, is just safety and ensuring that I had the professional capacity and skills and knowledge to give to the people I was working with the support that they needed. Children have a variety of different needs that are very distinct from adult populations, and I wanted to make sure that the adults were able to give consent, or that their caregivers were able to give consent in a very informed way. Caregivers of autistic individuals have been identified as having really, really high stress ratings and also severe health and wellness barriers themselves as well, just simply because of some of the challenges that come from professional caregiving, as we refer to it, or 100% 24/7 caregiving for children and adult needs. So we went with that cohort, reached out, got some interested members, sent them a really long survey where they kind of gave us an idea of where they were at in terms of their health and wellness, did initial screening to make sure everyone was medically cleared to go, and then began kind of the interview process and moved forward from there. Wound up with 4 caregivers and with 2 autistic adult participants. One of the caregivers did have to drop out due to a medical emergency that was unrelated to the program, but we did wind up having a fantastic group of 5 individuals.